Right, you lot, in today's video, I'm going to be covering wingers signed by David Gold and David Sullivan. A lot of money has been spent over the past 10 years, 152 million, 0.55. That's a lot of money. That's, for the record, 152,550,000 pounds. The return on that is 63.23 million. So we've lost a little under 100 million on the wings we've signed. I mean, we've signed some crackers. Pablo Barrera, anyone remember him? Bought him in for about 5 million, lost him on a free transfer. The only winger, quote, we actually made money on was Dimitri Payet. And in my opinion, we should have made more than what we did. We made 26 million when we sold him, so 13 million. We should have been making probably a 40 million pound profit easily. So in my opinion, we even lost money on players like that. The only players we made actual money on was Stuart Downing and Sofian Feghouli. Now, if you remember, Downing was quite a nice little deal because he wanted to go back to Middlesbrough. They were willing to offer the money. And he had a nice little upturn in form, hence why he got his move. Feghouli had quite a good reputation internationally, hence why he got his move abroad again. We brought him in on a free transfer. So those were the only two players we sold, and even the resale value for them was very, very small. Now, the winger position is such an interesting one for West Ham because over the years, particularly in the Sam Allardyce era, it was really crucial to have wingers with pace and good delivery. And we obviously spent money on people like Matt Jarvis, who didn't really reach the height that he did at Wolves, but again, the premise was there. And a lot of our play come through width, and when we did so well in the 2014-15 season, initially it was because we had the left backs as well bombing on, and the right backs in Aaron Creswell and Carl Jenkinson. So they were pivotal. I think under Pellegrini it changed slightly. We went to a 4-2-3-1, and it became players that could play a little bit more centrally, were creative, that would naturally drift in from the wings. It's interesting because the biggest outlay in terms of our wingers is on Anderson and Yarmolenko, and whilst they have played in that wing position, there is potential for them in a West Ham side to cut in, to move in, to find space, so they're not particularly stuck to those wings. The money that we spent on Felipe Anderson and Yarmolenko brought in a completely different calibre of player, and albeit that they haven't performed to their maximum, they're still useful players. You know, Anderson could go on next season to show some of his ability if he moves to a number 10, but equally he won't be that winger in my opinion. I think Yarmolenko is good coming in the last 20 minutes, but again he's someone who benefits now from playing a little bit more centrally if he can, because his pace just isn't there. So when you look at the winger positions, we clearly spend a lot of money on this because we believe it's going to be of value to the team, but the actual value on wingers for the last 4 or 5 years hasn't really been there in my opinion. West Ham like to play centrally, even when you go back to Bilic. You know, you like to play with the diamond in midfield and the two strikers up front. So it hasn't really been a pivotal position, and yet it's an area that we spent a lot of money on. And listen, I allude to it in pretty much every video now. The scattergun approach is why this has happened. The only bit of optimism I've got in this area is the fact that we've gone and spent £19 million on Jarrod Bowen, which is, again, one of the biggest outlays for a winger. And when you actually explore it, you see that the winger positions under Moyes, particularly in the second half of the season when he's come in, have been crucial to the way West Ham play, getting bodies in a box, you know, working from set pieces, and Jarrod Bowen's really good at that. Again, he needs wingers as well that can attack but have got a good defensive work rate. So even though we're spending on these positions, and in a lot of cases early doors, we've lost money, I think now we're in a position where we've got quality wingers. We've got Dean Garner to come in. Obviously we didn't pay a transfer fee for him. We're looking at players that could make money. I don't believe Yarmolenko will, because he's a little bit older, but I think Anderson will. I think we'll get money back for him. I think we'll lose it ultimately, but there is some sell-on value in him. And I think Bowen and Grady, if they ever leave at some point, will only get better, and particularly they'll be able to show their full potential within this system. So whilst I think that we've been poor in terms of our spending historically, and the approach has been to sign wingers because they are, you know, an attractive signing and a marquee signing, aka Jarvis, albeit in a good system. We're now reverting to that system where we need the width, and I think the players, particularly someone like Dean Garner, someone like Bowen, will give West Ham a platform going forward to resell. And if they don't, the likelihood is we keep them. They do a fantastic job under David Moyes, and West Ham progress. I think West Ham have addressed that with enough quality. Now is the question of, will we get our money back on some of them in order to reinvest? And clearly, you know, we've seen it from the finances. A club like West Ham, we need to be reinvesting some of these transfer fees into a budget because the money clearly isn't there. So that was my take on the winger positions for West Ham. I promised a striker review and I will go for it. But until next time, take care.